Hey everyone, it's Jonathan here, founder of Driving Academy. In today's video, we're going to be giving you an explanation of what to expect on your CDL road test itself. So when it comes to the day of your CDL road test, it might be a super nervous day for you. I know for a lot of our students, they say that as well. But if the goal is, if you watch this video, we're going to try to calm down your nerves, give you some tips and tricks, and tell you exactly what to expect on the test date. So when you're going to be showing up for the test date, of course, show up on time, if not early. And make sure you bring the proper documentation. By proper documentation, all your driver's licenses, all your permits that you need, and your DOT physical itself. If you're going to be using a test at a third-party testing site, like ours here at Driving Academy, we'll provide you with the truck, no issue. If you're going to go to a DMV, make sure that the truck itself is in good working condition, which means all the lights and everything can pass a DOT inspection. As long as you have that, you're ready to rock and roll. Now, the main thing you have to understand about this test, it can be pretty long, but it's split into three main parts. Part number one is going to be the inspection of the vehicle. Part number two is going to be parking the vehicle, and part number three is going to be driving the truck on the actual road itself. So let's get right into part number one, which is going to be inspection. Now the inspection piece is going to split into two different sections. One's going to be the inside inspection, the other one's going to be the outside inspection itself. So I'll meet you inside the truck and I'll give you some tips and tricks on what to expect for your in-cab inspection and engine start part of the road test itself. Let's get started. So now that we're inside the truck, let's talk about what is actually going to be tested inside here. We're going to be testing our air brake system, so you're going to have to know how to do a proper air brake test. If you want a full video on that, make sure you subscribe to the channel and just search air brake test. We'll definitely pop up there, right? Now, what are the main things that you have to worry about on the air brake test? What makes the air brake test the most scary, I should say, is if you miss one word, or maybe you misspelled something, or you didn't say something, or you missed one step. It could be the difference between you passing and failing this section itself. But to kind of give you a brief overview of what this section is about, pretty much we're going to turn the engine on, right? Make sure the engine is building up your air pressure to about 120 psi. You definitely want to make sure that you've noticed when the air pressure and air tanks are full. From there, we're going to shut the engine off, but this key has failed more people than anything else. What you want to do is turn the key to the on position. Not the engine on, but the engine's going to be off. You're going to turn the key to the on position. If you fail to do that, again, you guessed it, you fail. Now from there, you're going to push in both of your brakes. You're going to press on your foot on the foot brake. You're going to wait 1 minute, and in the Class A tractor trailer, you can't lose any more than 4 psi itself. From there, you're going to pump on the brake, go all the way down to about 55 psi, and the light and buzzer should come on, and then down to 20 to 45 psi, and the brakes should pop out. If you miss one of those words, if you don't say one of the numbers correctly, it can be the difference between you actually passing and failing this test. So you want to make sure that's good. That's going to be the most important part. From there, once you've actually completed that, there's going to be a general inspection. So you're going to be inspecting things like the windshield. You're going to make sure that your lights are working. You're going to make sure your wipers are working, your heater and defrost, and different things like that. Nothing as serious as you need to make sure the heater and all that stuff is actually working as well, right? Now, once you have completed this section, the next thing that you want to ask your examiner to do is going to help you out with an external light check. Now, the external light check itself is going to be checking the outside of the vehicle. But make sure you do not skip the last piece of the actual air brake test, which is actually checking to make sure their brakes are actually working. So what we call it here is a tug test. If you actually want hands-on training with this stuff, we invite you to come to the best CDL school in the country. Find a location near you. We're open up all over the country, and we have plans to open up even more. Check out our website, cdldrivingacademy.com, right? So we did the tug test. Now I'm going to ask the examiner, okay, can you help me out with an external light check? At that point, the examiner is going to exit the vehicle, go to the front of the vehicle. You're going to turn on all the lights, and you're going to tell them which lights you are turning on. Okay, my headlights, my four-way flashers, left turn signals, right turn signals, marker lights. Check the sides of my vehicle too, sir, please. And you're going to do all that. Then you're going to go to the back. You're going to check all the lights as well. And then, of course, you're going to check your brake lights on top of everything there. And you're going to want to make sure that everything is checked. Once you ask the examiner to do that, then you're going to get out of the vehicle, and then you get to start the next part of the inspection, which is the outside pre-trip inspection. So let's get started with that. So part of the outside inspection is exactly what it sounds like. It's going to be inspecting the outside of the vehicle. One of the first things that you have to inspect is going to be the front of the vehicle. Now with this, you can go in any order that you want to go into, right? So what we usually teach our students is start off in the front. You're going to check things like your lights, make sure those are working, clean and proper color, right, and operational. At that point, you are going to have to open up the hood. So to open up the hood, you're going to have to remove both hood latches, which I already did. And then you're going to put your hand right on the top, foot over here for support, and lift it back up. And as you see there, the hood is now open. Now, what are the things that we have to actually check inside the hood itself? Do we have to check every single nut and bolt? That is absolutely not true, right? So the main things that we're going to be checking underneath the hood is going to be things like your fluid levels. So we're talking about coolant, we're talking about your power steering fluid, and we're talking about your oil levels as well. Also underneath the hood, we're going to be checking things like making sure there's no leaks underneath or anything like that. And we're going to want to make sure that all the hoses are in good condition and not wearing and tearing. Of course, I'm not using the exact wording. If you want the exact wording, make sure you check the most up-to-date pre-trip inspection video where we go in detail of exactly what word for word you're going to have to use in order to pass this inspection. Again, subscribe to our channel and just search pre-trip inspection CDL Class A, and then that video will definitely pop up. It gets updated every single year, so make sure you're watching the most up-to-date video itself. The other things that you're going to be checking with the hood open is going to be the power steering system itself, right? So my links, arms, and rods are not worn or cracked. Joints and sockets not worn or loose, as an example. And then we're going to be checking the suspension, the brakes, and the tires here as well, right? So you're going to be checking things on the driver's side of the vehicle to make it super simple for you. And then from here, once this whole section is checked, then we're going to be going down the side of the vehicle. We're going to be checking the fifth wheel as an example, the fuel tank, we're going to be checking the air lines, make sure the connection's correct, the side of the trailer, making sure that's all good. And then once we get to the back, we're checking all the tires, and we're checking the back to make sure everything's sitting level, all the lights are working, the frame is in good condition, the landing gear as an example is another one, the release arm is another one. I'm oversimplifying it. There's going to be over 90 items to actually inspect on the day of the test, and you want to make sure you're getting every single point down packed. This is probably the hardest part of the entire road test itself. If 10 people were to fail this test nationwide, 8 out of the 10 fail on the inspection piece itself. So either they made a mistake on the inside inspection or they didn't study hard enough for the outside inspection. And the cool thing about being a student here at Driving Academy is we can actually give you the word-for-word script on exactly what to say, so you can memorize all this stuff, and we break it down for you in very easy, digestible pieces to make it super simple for you to actually learn and get yourself a CDL license that you're after. All right, so once this part is actually done, the examiner is then going to start counting points, and you get to hold your breath in waiting to see if you actually pass or not, because if you fail, the test is over for you. But if you pass, you get to move on to part 2, and part 2 is all about parking. So let's talk about that next. All right, so part 2 of the test is all about parking. Now, you see 4 trucks behind me? That's because there's 4 different parking maneuvers. So here at Driving Academy, we will repeat these skills over and over again for you until you've mastered them. That being said, let's go through each maneuver one by one. The first maneuver is going to be called a front bumper stop. That means you're going to have to pull the vehicle forward and make sure that you're able to align the front of your vehicle within a certain boundary box, which is about 2 to 3 feet big. As long as you can do that, you're able to pass this step. Now, it sounds easy, but when you're inside these actual tractor trailers, it's very hard to kind of judge to see where the front of your actual hood is. The next maneuver after that is going to be pretty simple. It's just going to be backing up straight. Now, you might think backing up a tractor trailer is simple, but it is one of the most difficult things that our students have to go through when they're learning this skill right from scratch. The reason being is when you're backing up and you're turning the wheel to the right, your trailer's going to go the opposite side, which is to the left. And it starts kind of taking some time for you to mentally adjust your brain on how to maneuver this vehicle. So you want to understand how to back up straight within a 100-foot space, right, from front to back, and make sure you're within the lines at all times. You don't want to be hitting any lines at all, right? From there, then you're going to do what's called a forward offset, which means they want to test your ability on how you can actually go around a car or around a curb without touching anything. So you're going to be pulling forward, going around a cone, and you want to make sure that you're within 3 feet of that cone without touching it with your back tire. If you do that, you're able to be successful and you get to move on to the next maneuver, which is going to be kind of like a parallel park alley dock. It's called reverse offset, which means you're going to back up the vehicle into an alley dock position, like you see in this diagram right over here, and you want to make sure that the back bumper of the trailer is going to be within that last small box behind the alley right over there, right? So those are going to be the 4 maneuvers. Like I said, when you're here at Driving Academy, we'll show you all those things in detail. Now, some tips and tricks for this section of the test. What actually messes people up here is going to be not following instructions. So every maneuver is going to have a certain set of instructions that the examiner is going to be giving you. And if you don't listen to those instructions to the T, you might be able to fail this test. As an example, certain maneuvers you can get out once, certain maneuvers you can't get out at all. Other maneuvers you can get out twice and you can pull up twice, depending on if you follow the instructions or not. For instance, on a maneuver where you can only get out to look once and you're going to get out twice, that's an automatic failure. So you want to avoid that at all costs, right? Now, assume that you're a student here and you did exactly what we asked you to do. You followed the process and you're able to pass the second part of the test. Now it's time for the third and final section of the test, which is driving the truck on the physical road itself. Now, the cool thing here is it's pretty simple. It's going to be about anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes long, depending on which test site you actually go to. And here they're just testing your general road skills. Can you stop at stop signs? Can you handle the vehicle safely? If you're driving a manual transmission, can you shift properly? Can you make right turns? Can you make left turns? Things like that, right? Some of the big no-nos when it comes to the road driving is going to be make sure you're not touching any curbs. When you see these big tractor trailers behind me here, it takes a super wide turn, and if the back tire touches 1 inch of that curb, that's an automatic failure for the test. The other thing that you have to understand is make sure you're comfortable shifting before you actually get on the road there, because if you make too many mistakes on shifting, for instance, you lose your gear and all of a sudden your truck starts coasting. If it coasts too far, again, another automatic fail. Other than that, just make sure you're super secure and make sure you're super safe when it comes to driving on the road, which means don't be speeding through yellow lights. It means come to a complete stop on stop signs itself and follow the speed limit. Other than that, you should have no issue passing the actual road test, especially if you came to the best CDL school in the country. So I hope that this helped you out, give you an overview of what the actual road test is about. Follow these tips and tricks. It will make you one step closer to help you get your CDL license and help you get yourself on the road to freedom with your CDL itself. Now, if you want to go to the best CDL school in the country, you already know where to go. Come to Driving Academy. Check out our website, cdldrivingacademy.com. We have locations nationwide, and we plan to open up more and more every single year. So if you don't find a location near you, check out our Linden, New Jersey office, and we can definitely help you out there. But contact our offices anywhere in the country, and we are here to help you get yourself on the road to freedom too. We're open up 7 days a week. All you need to get started is $500 down. We could work out an interest-free payment plan for the rest, and we also offer lifetime job placement. So let's get you started today and get you your CDL license that you deserve. Thanks, and good luck on your test. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel. It's really going to help us out. Click on that button. And if you want to continue yourself on your road to freedom, here's more videos to watch. There's endless amounts. Hopefully we get to see each other one day very soon. Thanks.